The Donning 2024 is officially here. Grandma Eva is back, and this year, we're gonna be doing exactly what we do every year, which is make some cookies. Now, if you're no life in Path of Exile 2 right now, no worries. This event lasts until January the 7th. With that being said though, we're gonna go over how to farm Donning Essence, Donning Spirit, and collect those cookie ingredients. As the more of all these things you have, the better loot you get from this entire event. And yes, we've got some cheesy ways to lock down these ingredients extremely efficiently. Now, to get things started, you simply need to just go to the tower and talk to Grandma Eva. You'll be picking up the introductory Donning quests as well as her holiday oven. Now, this will simply task you to bake a Doodle for Zavala, which Eva gives you the ingredients for right away. After that, you'll need to deliver it to Zavala in the tower, who will give you a gift in return, as well as some other rewards. Now, this is where you're gonna wanna claim your first event challenge, which will open up the rest of them and prompt you to upgrade your event card, which for a short time, you actually could upgrade it for free. No silver needed. Now, Bungie actually had the event card disabled for some time. At the time I'm recording this video, it has been re-enabled. Unfortunately though, no one else can claim it for free. You will have to pay 1,000 silver if you want the event card, but keep in mind guys, these are cosmetic items only. And unless you really want a Christmas gift wrapped sparrow to speed around in, then for the most part, you're good. Now after that, you can head back to Eva to let her know that Zavala received his gift and that Eva will reward you with some Donning Spirits, thus allowing us to purchase our first upgrade from Eva. This one is called Merry Maker. This will grant you the Boon of Friendship, which is granted to you each day from Eva Levante. Now for those who may be new to the Donning or just don't remember, Boons of Friendship grant a Donning reward to your fire team upon completing any playlist activity, with additional rewards based on a number of the players who have the boons active. Now the effects last until a reward is earned, and only one Boon of Friendship may be active per player. Now once the boon upgrade is purchased, you can then speak to Eva again to finish out the quest, and she'll give you a new one called Cookie Delivery Helper. This is essentially the main quest line of the Donning, which will task you to deliver a cookie to everyone in the Soul System. Now there's also another quest that you can pick up from Eva called Winter's Night, which actually rewards you with that Donning Memento. Hot! Now if you don't see it there when you're first talking to Eva, if you return to orbit and then go back to the tower, it should be there. Now this quest is pretty straightforward. You'll need to get 75 Snowball Final Blows, 25 upgraded Snowball Final Blows, and then deliver a classic butter cookie. Now snowballs are dropped by combatants when they're defeated by weapons, as well as guardian abilities in free roam locations, as well as in the Vanguard Ops playlist. As for the upgraded Snowball Final Blows, you'll need either the Long Winter or Stay Frosty upgrade, which can be purchased from Eva. And we're going to talk about these upgrades in just a moment in more depth. Now, once these steps are complete, you'll be rewarded the Donning Memento, and then additional mementos can be acquired by opening gifts in return or when focusing a festive Ingram. Now, one last thing to mention regarding these quests is they seem to be bugged out when you switch characters. My editor was switching characters for a checkpoint, and on his original character that he was doing the Donning on, it gave him back the introductory Donning quests and made him start from scratch, having to rebake the cookie for Zavala and then talk to Eva again, even though he had already completed it and had the next quest. And unfortunately, he was locked from baking anything else until he went out and got ingredients and baked that Doodle for Zavala. Even more unfortunate is that it wiped his progress on the Winter's Night quest. He was nearly finished getting the Snowball Final Blows, but his progress was reset back to 0. Now, as far as he could tell, he only needed to restart the initial quest the one time after swapping characters, but his account for the Donning is very buggy because of this. He can't progress the Winter's Night quest at all, therefore locking him out of the Memento. And on his other characters, he only has the oven, but no quests. It's not even at Eva or the Postmaster, not even the quest archive kiosk. Now for Noah, this happened to him where his progress got wiped, but he was still able to restart it and progress the quest forward. So TLDR guys, the Donning quest, among many things inside of Destiny, is buggy. And as we come up with more ways to work around this, what I will say for the most part, if you're going to be doing things like character swaps for checkpoints and other things, we recommend finishing the starting quests, getting your oven from Eva at least on all characters, as that seemed to help one of our editors. Hopefully Bungie sees this though and starts addressing this issue. Now before continuing on throughout this guide, a few things that I would recommend. Number one is equipping the ship called the Starfarer 7M. This comes with a special perk that grants a chance to generate Donning Spirits whenever you find a Donning ingredient. Now, if you plan on playing the Donning, I highly recommend having the ship on the entire time, as it passively grants you Donning Spirits. Now, for those that have acquired this ship previously, you'll find it in the collections under Season 12 for ships, and you should be able to pull it from there. Now, if you've never acquired this ship before, don't worry. You can actually purchase it from Eva for 5,000 glimmer. Now, the next thing I would recommend is getting your holiday oven Masterwork Masterworked. This is by far the most important thing, as it reduces the cost of donning essence for each cookie from 15 down to 10. That means you can cook substantially more cookies. Now, in order to masterwork your oven, you have to cook one of every cookie. But keep in mind, this is retroactive, meaning if you've cooked cookies in previous donning events, you do not have to rebake those same cookies again. Instead, you just need to cook the brand new cookie this year for Nimbus called Nia Moon Pie, which is why I suggest this being the first cookie that you go and bake after the intro quest, so that you're allowed to masterwork your oven right away. All you need for this is some donning essence, 1 Vex milk, which you can get from defeating Vex enemies, and there are a ton of places to do that at. There's the Ori Lost Sector in Artifact's Edge, on Nessus, the intro to Garden of Salvation, and the final ingredient you're gonna need is Dark Frosting, which you can get by defeating targets with stasis or strand damage. Now, at any point, if you're not sure how to acquire a specific ingredient in your oven, you can actually see how to obtain all of these ingredients. You can also see how many of each ingredient that you have currently. Now, as a reminder, the green ingredients are from the type of enemies that you kill, and the blue ingredients are how you kill enemies. Now, lastly, you want to pick up the bounties Eva has, as our 2 weekly bounties give Bright Dust, 30 Donning Essence, and 10 Donning Spirits, as well as the daily ones, which net you 2 Donning Spirits upon completions, as well as some ingredients. Now, she does have some repeatable bounties. They only give 1 Donning Spirit, but they give ingredients as well as Bright Dust, which is really nice considering that the armor this year for the Donning event can either be acquired via silver or Bright Dust. Yes, this is the entire dragon look. You want to look like a baby on Hopkara? Go right ahead, fellas. Now, with the bugs and initial tips out of the way, let's go over how this event works. There is a gameplay loop, if you will, which takes us to the farming portion of this guide. Now, the event itself is very simple and possibly the easiest event of them all. You're going to be earning ingredients by defeating different types of combatants and by using specific weapons, elements, and abilities. And again, at any point, if you forget what you need to do to earn a specific ingredient, just check your oven. And the other thing you'll need is Donning Essence, which you can earn from completing activities. Once you have your ingredients and your Donning Essence, you then combine them together to bake the cookie. And then on the cookie itself, it'll tell you who you need to deliver the cookies to. Now, delivering cookies is great because it gives you things like Donning Spirits. You can also get strange coins, rule loot, as well as gifts in return. Now, since there is no specific activity for this event, this is going to be the main way to unlock donning weapons and mementos. Now, the other currency for this event is Donning Spirits, which you'll need in order to purchase the various upgrades Eva has, which can empower your ingredients, upgrade your snowballs, and allow you to directly focus for weapons and even unlock the chance for multiple perks to drop per column. Now, you earn Donning Spirit from delivering cookies, as well as from Boons of Friendships. You've got your Starfarer 7M ship, as well as the usual event card challenges. Now, I highly recommend prioritizing these upgrades, as you got things like Bountiful Harvest, where donning bounties reward an additional random ingredient. You've got Essential Harvest, where bounties reward a small amount of donning essence. But more importantly, though, is to make sure you get Gift Wrap Exchange Ticket, as this unlocks access to the Donning Ingram focusing option. And then to go a step further, you have the Limited Exchange Ticket, which unlocks access to focus directly for the weapon that you want. Now, both these upgrades cost 35 Donning Spirits, so 70 altogether. Then after that, you can get the Perky Presence and the Perkier Presence, and that's what gives you the double traits. Now, before you even start focusing for loot, I recommend getting these upgrades so that you have a better odds of getting those God ropes. Now it's time to talk farming. I want to start with the essence, which again, you get from completing activities. Now, we tried various methods from strikes to onslaught to lost sectors, and let me just say, this is not something that you need to do all in one day. Literally just playing the game nets you these essence of donning. However, if you're looking for the most optimal way possible, then without a doubt, the Shattered Throne boss checkpoint is by far the fastest. Now, we have a Discord. We even share checkpoints over here, guys. You can come over. All that we ask is that if you pick up a checkpoint from someone, you share it with someone else. Essentially, though, you'll want one player to keep the checkpoint saved on one of their characters, and your team will join up. And whoever is saving the checkpoint would then want to swap to their main character that they want to farm on. They'll join back, and then you can start the encounter. Now, this encounter is very easy and very fast. You'll kill the 3 knights in front of you. They'll drop these orbs on the ground, giving you the finite thought buff, and once all 3 are collected, you can start damaging the boss. Now, one of the best weapons for this is Warcliffe Coil, as this easily shreds this boss in particular. And in total, this takes roughly 2 minutes to complete, from loading in, getting the kill, and loading back in, and this nets you 21 essence per clear. Keep in mind, 21 essence is a little more than a cookie per minute, which is straight cooking, fellas. Really, the most consuming part about this entire thing is just loading back into the activity, but this is by far the best method. Now, another method that we used last year is, of course, just farming things like legend lost sectors. You can literally just go in with 2 people, easily clear out a lost sector in 2 to 3 minutes, get some loot in the process, and you'll get 20 essence per clear. Keep in mind, this does change depending on whatever it is that is the lost sector in rotation. As of today, the lost sector is on the Pale Hearts, which these ones are quite a bit longer, as well as being more difficult. Now, the first contact mission, which is the Lightfall intro mission, can also be used to farm for Dawning Essence. If you don't want to do any damage, you simply just want to load in over and over, not worry about clearing a boss. This doesn't net you as much essence. It's like somewhere between 16, maybe 17, but it's fairly quick. But in this situation, you'll have to share checkpoints just like you would for Shattered Throne. And in my opinion, Shattered Throne is just the more optimal way. Now let's talk about farming ingredients. There is one particular spot that is, in my opinion, one of the best spots for farming ingredients, and that is in the Shadowkeep mission, the Deep. Now, as far as I'm aware, in order to even play this mission, you either have to be on it in the Shadowkeep DLC, or you need to wait for it to be in rotation on the moon, which luckily for us, this week, it is. Here, you just need to load up into the mission, run to the marker until you get to the spot where you just need to stand on this plate. Do that until it captures, then a door will open, you'll head through, kill some ads, and then proceed to keep pushing forward into this next room, which will then open up another door. Now, you're gonna wanna stand on this plate, just like you would for Crota's Inn. You'll fill up the bridge, and you can cross over. Clear out the enemies, guys, and you'll notice there in the middle, you can take the Hive Cryptoglyph. Now, this is when you enter a darkness zone. You wanna wait for just a second, let everything go dark, and then you wanna just simply wipe. Now, the reason why you wanna wipe right here is that this spot, this is it. You can't trade the checkpoint off, as you have to get here manually. But what you do have the ability to do is sit here and farm infinite amounts of thrall. Now, you can kill them with whatever you want to kill them. Personally, my favorite thing to do is get on a Titan, use a sunspot, and literally just sit here. Look, man, I come back and forth. I shake my mouse a little bit. I'm cleaning house, dude. Making dinner for the fam. And in the process of doing this, thralls are mindlessly throwing themselves at me, dying, and giving me tons of ingredients. Now, could you do other encounters? Sure. You could load up into the Whisper mission if you want. You can go through the entire jump puzzle. You could drop down below the green room. I was doing that earlier. I was actually getting some Trinity gold kills here. You could also load up into King's Fall and the Gorgoroth maze. But in my opinion, the reason why the Deep mission is so good is the ingredients that it nets you. It's not only giving us chitin powder, which drops from Hive, but it's giving us multifaceted flavors, netting us bright dusted snowballs. Now, these are the cookies that you give to Tess at the tower, and the only aggravating thing about giving cookies to Tess is that you only give one to her at a time. But keep in mind, guys, you can literally tab back and forth. You don't even have to close, tab back and forth. It refreshes every time, and you could turn back-to-back cookies in over and over. I personally think this is the best way to farm cookies, at least from an AFK perspective. I know somebody brought up in the stream earlier, Cross, can't you get banned for this? No, you literally can't. Macro farming, you can. The people that are in Gorgoroth setting up a macro, those are the people that can possibly be farmed. And I'm not hating on you. I'm just saying that's what Bungie doesn't want. They don't want macro farming inside of Destiny. However, setting up your character to bathe in fire while everything jumps into it and just occasionally come by and either shake your mouse or your controller, that's completely fine. After doing all this, guys, you'll take all these ingredients, turn them into cookies, and you'll turn them in to Tess or whoever it is that you want to turn them into, which will give you Dawning Spirits, but more importantly, a gift in return. And those are the materials that you're going to be using after getting those various upgrades with Eva to then focus for those weapons specifically. Now, all of these guns, guys, we're going to be taking a look at this week. We're going to be doing reviews on all of them, starting with the linear fusion rifle, which looks pretty interesting. It's called Mistral Lift. It's an adaptive burst linear. It's got Vice Stinger on it. We'll probably be doing some damage tests on it as well. I know linears are not necessarily something that's crazy right now, but keep in mind at one time, linears were the meta. And you never know. Bungie might literally make them meta again in the future. So that is our guide for this year's Dawning 2024. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching. And as always,
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.